Now we are going to see how to map the magnetic field due to a current loop. So last session we have seen a conductor, linear conductor. In that linear conductor we have mapped the magnetic field and we have seen that they are concentric circles. In the conductor passing through the center of the concentric circles. So current is flowing. This is the magnetic field lines due to a straight conductor. Suppose if this conductor is taken in the form of a loop, so we are having a loop, current I is flowing through this loop. So around the region of this loop there is presence of magnetic field. So the magnetic field due to this loop can also be mapped using magnetic needle. So when we map the magnetic field, you will get magnetic field lines like this. And we can see at the center of the loop, the magnetic field lines are parallel to each other. So at the center of the loop, the parallel magnetic lines tells that magnetic field due to the loop is uniform at the center. So already we have seen a uniform magnetic field is represented by parallel magnetic field lines. So when we map magnetic field due to a loop, they are also two concentric circles like this. But at the center you can see magnetic field lines are parallel to each other, which tells that magnetic field is uniform at the center of the loop. So as Oestrad obtained, there is presence of magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. If there is presence of magnetic field, it can be mapped. And we have mapped the magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. And we have seen that it is concentric circles when the conductor is a linear conductor. And here, when it is in the form of a loop, we have a set of concentric circle field lines. But at the center, the field lines are parallel, which tells that magnetic field is uniform. This is how we can map the magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. So in the next part what we are going to see, we are going to measure, quantitative measure of magnetic field produced by a current carrying conductor. So this was attempted by Biot and Servet. So Biot and Servet attempted to quantitatively how much of magnetic field is produced by a current carrying conductor. So they repeated this experiment by increasing the current, by changing the direction of the current, and they observe, depending upon their observation, the results of the observation were summarized in the form of a law, which is called as Biot-Servet law. So what is Biot-Servet law? Biot-Servet law. So this Biot and Servet made an attempt to measure the magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. So let us consider a current carrying conductor. So in this conductor a steady current I flows through the conductor. So we are going to consider a small element of length dl. We are going to measure what is the magnetic field produced by this element at the point P. This point P is at a distance or from the center of the element. So element length is dl. In this element current I is flowing. Current is flowing in the upward direction. Since we are taking the direction of the flow of current, the product of current and length of the element is called as current element, IDL. So IDL is a vector quantity. So current is a scalar. Electric current is always a scalar quantity. Length of the element dl is also a scalar. Since we are taking the direction of the flow of current into account, this IDL is called as current element and it is a vector quantity. So we are going to find out what is this magnetic induction due to this current element IDL. So this was done by Biot and Savart. They formulated the experimental result in the form of a law. If dB is the magnetic induction produced at the point P by this current element IDL, they observed that dB is proportional to the strength of the current that flows through the current element. So dB is proportional to I. This dB is proportional to length of the current element dl. dB is proportional to sine of the angle suspended by the position vector from the current element. So sine theta. And dB is inversely proportional to the square of the distance of that point from the center of the current element. So combining all these four, we can write dB is proportional to IDL sine theta by r square, or dB is equal to k into IDL sine theta by r square. This constant of proportionality takes the value mu naught by 4 pi. So substituting this, we will have dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi IDL sine theta by r square. We know magnetic field is a vector. So since it is a vector, we can take this is a vector, IDL is a current element is a vector. This position vector, this is a position vector or vector. So in the vector form, we can write it as dB vector is equal to mu naught by 4 pi IDL sine theta by r square into r cap, where r cap is the unit position vector. So in the vector form, we can write dB vector is equal to mu naught by 4 pi IDL cross r cap by r square. This expression is called as Biot-Savart's law. So Biot-Savart's law helps us to find what is magnetic induction at any point due to a current carrying conductor element, not the current carrying conductor. Using this Biot-Savart's law, we can find what is the magnetic induction due to a current element at any point near to the conductor. So, in order to find what is magnetic induction due to a current carrying conductor, you have to apply superposition principle. So how to apply superposition principle? The entire conductor can be divided into small such elements, and magnetic induction due to every element at the point can be obtained. When we summarize all, when we gather all this, that will give the magnetic induction due to a current carrying conductor. So in the next part, we are going to see what is magnetic induction at any point due to a current carrying conductor, we are going to apply Biot-Savart's law and find out the magnetic induction.